New details have emerged with Ledger. Hbar gets another member to its governing council. Ripple keeps on expanding its global operations with an acquisition of another company. And new details with the Ripple versus the SEC case where they jointly filed a motion. Make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out. Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone, I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started, today's gonna be Saturday, May 20th. I wanted to show you guys, we did a Hbar giveaway. I unfortunately could not send Hbar to the second winner. I showed you guys last video that the money got sent to the first winner. The second winner was Spider Crypto. The transaction was completed. We had to use Matic, but that's his, and I sent him the screenshots and everything else. So he did receive those. And he didn't comment or anything in the Twitter post. I'm assuming he might comment on this next video. We did reach our 250 subscribers, as like I talked about in the last video. We got rid of some of the bots. My subscriber count dropped a little bit and slowly started to regain. I did get notifications on the new individuals that subscribed. So new details for the next giveaway will be in the videos next week. So make sure you guys tune into those videos to get all of those details, because we're going to have about 2 to 3 winners. It's going to be a bigger giveaway than the $10 worth of Hbar. We'll be giving away XRP tokens, so make sure, again, you guys tune in to those. Getting started, though, the total market cap for all cryptocurrency right now is $1,127 billion. This is a 0.19% increase on the day today. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $26,941. Ethereum is trading at $1,814, and XRP is trading at 46.61 cents. Getting into our biggest gainers and losers with crypto bubbles, Pepe is going to be our biggest gainer, up 8.6%. BSV is going to be up 4.6%. And Casper is going to be up 3.5%. Our biggest losers on the day, GRT is going to be down 4.3%. Lido DAO is going to be down 3.8%. And Woo is going to be down 2.6%. Overall, though, it's 50% green, 50% red, just because we're so close to that 0% mark for increase or decrease. Getting into our news, though, Elizabeth Warren is asking why JP Morgan got such a sweetheart deal. The FDIC took a $13 billion loss on the deal, while JP Morgan will gain $2.6 billion. Does the government really need to subsidize the largest bank in the world? I think it's a fair question, and we can agree on this. Why did JP Morgan keep on growing and getting $2.6 billion in revenue while the FDIC took a major hit? If you guys don't know, the rule is that no bank can hold more than 10% of U.S. deposits. With the acquisition of First Republic Bank, they actually did go over that 10%, so they needed the government to approve it, and they did, and they gained $2.6 billion. Why? Why were they able to do this while other banks cannot? In my opinion, there's something going on between some people in Congress with Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan. Moving on, though, getting into our Watcher Guru news, Elon Musk says Twitter plans to create a more effective or efficient financial system than traditional banking. We talked about this in my last video. Again, I do think that it could be the XRP token, seeing how he did change Twitter's name to X as a company. Now he likes this because he likes SpaceX and everything else like that. So he could actually just be doing this, and that's like just a lot of speculation that he actually is not going to use the XRP token, but he will be using his Dogecoin token. So it's just speculation. Tether right here to allocate up to 15% of its profits towards purchasing Bitcoin. So for those of you guys that don't know, Tether is a stable coin. So it's supposed to stay right at $1 with like 0.001% or 0.001 cent increase or decrease. So it's not really going to move that much, but they actually do gain profits just because people who use their coin, there are fees. With that, they're going to purchase Bitcoin. And the reason why is there's speculation with the next halving cycle in 2024 that Bitcoin's price is going to go up drastically. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be as drastic as the 2020 bull run, and that was just due to a bunch of people getting a bunch of free money from the federal governments, and that's what helped drive up stock and crypto prices. Iraq bans US dollar transactions, promotes use of local currency, just shows that the US dollar just keeps on falling. Hong Kong Monetary Authority launches digital Hong Kong dollar. Pilot Pakistan to ban crypto and says the country will never legalize it. I definitely disagree. I do think that more companies are going, or more countries are going to start to legalize cryptocurrency just because it's way cheaper to do so. We'll see exactly what happens in the future, though. OpenAI launches Chat GPT app for iOS. We'll see if a bunch of people start to use this. There's a bunch of things going on in Congress right now, deciding if it's appropriate right now to keep on having private companies um, seek out AI and expand their AI operations. The government's trying to put a pause to it and figuring out if it's appropriate or if it actually can harm us more in the future. Um, FTX sues Sam Bankman Fried. Finally, why did it take this long to start suing the guy that took all of the money? They're trying to basically save face right now because they actually do want to restart their exchange. Again, no financial advice. I'm never going to be invested in the FTX exchange, so I will not be using the FTX exchange if it does relaunch, and I will not be purchasing any of the FTT tokens. It's too high risk. US President candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says Bitcoin is an exercise in democracy. And basically, he's saying this because the government technically can't control how you use your wallets for cryptocurrency. The government right now can seize your bank account, seize all of your assets if they wanted to. If you were using and utilizing cryptocurrency, they cannot do that. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen tells bank CEOs more merges may be necessary. So it's just showing that we're having more monopolization of the banking institutions. And these bigger banks are going to keep on expanding and growing, taking these smaller banks out. We've seen this time and time again where these banks are growing and expanding. These smaller banks can no longer get their customers because obviously, one, they're shutting down a lot faster. They're not actually getting enough revenue to stay open. So we'll see what happens in the near future with this. Texas Senate passes bill requiring crypto exchanges to provide proof of reserves. This is actually a good thing in my opinion. Obviously, we've seen a lot of manipulation in the cryptocurrency market. So if we're able to provide proof of reserves, we can actually grow as a technological service. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. becomes first president candidate to accept Bitcoin campaign donations. Obviously, it's a first, but I don't think it's going to be the only one that's going to start doing this. I do believe that there are congressmen and women who go for the House or the Senate who have actually been receiving this prior. But just because it's new technology and now they can actually be a little bit more transparent with it, they can actually receive these as donations. This one was really cool, though, explaining Bitcoin to an empty room in 2013 when it was worth $100. I would highly encourage you guys to watch. It's 2 minutes and 9 seconds long. Right here, though, we talked about Ledger. In our last video that they're doing a recovery update. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to share your seed phrases, which is like a list of anywhere from 10 to 20 words for Ledger. And they're going to share that to three different companies, and they're private companies. And if you ever lose your seed phrases that are written down, essentially what Ledger can do is use your facial recognition as well as your ID and extract those keys, and they'll take it from company A, B, and C and then have them all come together. So then you actually get your money back. Now, there's a lot of controversy with this because now they're basically saying, well, if these companies now have access to your seed phrases, then all somebody has to do is hack into these three different companies rather than coming into your house or your bank or wherever you guys keep your guys' seed phrases. I highly encourage you guys not to keep them at your guys' houses, but memorize them if you guys can. But to be able to hack into these smaller companies, get your guys' seed phrases, just shows what more is going on. Right here, though, Ledger CEO confirms that the government can subpoena them to get access to your funds. Officially might ditch Ledger, according to Mason versus Luz. Now, I still like Ledger. As of right now, I'm still going to utilize it. It's an opt-in service, so there's a bunch of people saying, well, if it's opt-in, then they can basically force you to opt into it if they wanted to. In my opinion, I don't think that that's true. I still like Ledger. A lot of people promote Ledger. I don't get paid by Ledger. I don't get paid by anyone. I'm still a small YouTube um, person, but obviously Ledger's been there for a lot of individuals and a lot of customers. They were one of the first, most prominent cryptocurrency digital asset wallets. And I'm still going to utilize them until I see a little bit more. If you guys want to, though, you look into Ledger, look into some other ones, whatever you guys think. Now, this was really interesting. This is really hard for me to find. I am currently invested in Filecoin, and I was kind of wondering why the price dropped a little bit. But Filecoin price drops after SEC asked Grayscale to withdraw its application to make trust reporting. So, Grayscale wanted to make Filecoin Trust product. They had to file 10 individual forms when they were doing this. um, the SEC says, hey, you need to take back your guys' forms. We don't like it. We still think it's a security right now, but they looked back into it 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, sorry. They looked into Filecoin 5 years ago and they didn't see anything wrong with it then. But now that they're saying, well, we might be a security now for Filecoin. So Grayscale came out and says that it acknowledges that File may be currently be a security based on the facts as they exist today, or may be in the future to be found by the SEC or a federal court to be a security under the federal securities laws. Now, this is ridiculous because basically what they're saying is, well, whoever is in charge of the SEC in the future may deem it a security, but back in the day it wasn't. But now that Gary Gensler's in there, well, he thinks it is, so it probably is. And that's just ridiculous. The law shouldn't be changing by who's in power. Moving on, though, right here, we talked about how Judge Torres ruled on the Hinman emails. They had to file unsealing by June 6th, which is in 21 days from the hearing. So on June 6th is the date to look out for, but we're going to talk about this because since this was last reported on May 17th and today is the 20th, there was another joint um, filing between Ripple and the SEC to Judge Torres, and she granted it. So we're going to talk about that right here, though. Susan Feedman interviewed on BBC Radio 4 about UK's crypto regulations and crypto's ability to improve the efficiency of cross-border payments. If you guys want to, you guys can click the clip right here, and I highly encourage you guys to listen to this. Now, moving on, though, one of my followers asked me to go a little bit more in depth into Hbar. Hbar is probably in my top three tokens right now that I like. Obviously, XRP is going to be my favorite. Again, no financial advice. Do your guys' own research on a lot of your guys' tokens. But Hbar is my personal second favorite, possibly third, but I think it's going to be my second, with XRP being the first. But Hbar is a native energy efficient cryptocurrency for the public Hedera network. HBARs are used to pay application transaction fees and protect the network from attacks through proof of stake. Now, it's a little bit different because they use hash graph technology rather than blockchain technology. So that's what separates the Hedera or HBAR network from, let's say, Bitcoin or Ethereum. So it's really what I would look into if I were you guys. Really low fees right here, and then network protection. It says Hedera is a public open source proof of stake network. When the HBARs are staked to network nodes, they have weight influence on consensus for validating transactions. So there's a lot of protection with this. They have a huge governing council that we're going to talk about. They're close to 10 trillion transactions right now. This was on May 19th, so yesterday. They were at 9,283,000,000,000 transactions. They should hit 10 billion by the end of this month. And when they do, I will talk about that. But they're the biggest, most expanding network, in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion on it. Hedera right here, though, we talked about how they got a new member of its governing council. It says, Hedera, we are excited to announce that Cofra Holding, the CA Europe parent enterprise with more than 60,000 employees in business and real estate, sustainable food, clean energy, fashion, private equity, asset management, has joined the Hedera governing council. So this is really huge. Another big member outside the United States has joined Hedera. If you guys want to, you guys can read a little bit more. But right here, it just shows everyone that's on HBAR's governing council right now. They still have a couple open seats right now. But if you guys reside in the United States like I do, right here, Google, IBM are two big companies. Dell, looks like the T-Mobile right here, LG. All of these companies right now sit on Hedera's governing council. And then these governing council members will actually lose their seats after two consecutive terms. Boeing's another one. They can leave. They have to leave for one term, and then they can come back and rejoin Hedera's governing council. So there's rules, and basically it separates the powers, so no one company can basically just dominate the Hedera network. And show a lot of influence. So they will be leaving for at some point and then come back. Chainlink, though, is another cryptocurrency that I like. Moving on, though, right here, they actually did have their Google Cloud HQ in California. They had a governing council meeting at Google's main headquarters in California, which is really cool and interesting. It says hashtag Hello Future at the Hedera meeting. Brad Garlinghouse, though, right here, we talked about how Ripple keeps on expanding its global operation. So Ripple says, today we are proud to announce Ripple has acquired Metaco SA, becoming the sole shareholder of the Swiss-based provider of digital assets custody and tokenization technology. So we talk about how the Swiss bank accounts and stuff like that, that's where a lot of rich people keep their money because there's little to no taxes in Switzerland. So obviously, a lot of people and big money are in Swiss. So it's great that Ripple expanded in this area. Brad Garlinghouse says, thrilled to welcome Metaco and CEO Adrien Tarakani to Ripple. As Ripple expands its custody, a key part of crypto infrastructure will be able to support customers with the technology to custody, issue, and send and settlements anytime of tokenized assets. This is massive. Ripple and Metaco already share a focus on enterprise utility, regulation compliance, and global first mindset that will help us deliver the best possible experience to our institutional customers based around the world. Coming out of the coldest crypto winters yet, I'm incredibly bullish about Ripple's trajectory. Every day, we're thinking about the long term opportunity of crypto utility, putting our money and minds behind mission and partnering with the folks who share that vision. Now, Metaco probably isn't only going to be using the XRP token. They're probably going to utilize every cryptocurrency. And the reason why is a lot of people get irritated, but they don't really understand that Ripple is a separate company. It is not XRP. Ripple is a separate company, and they're going to keep on expanding that company. It's a privately traded company. If you guys want to, you can actually go buy shares of Ripple. Now, I still think they're in the beginning phases of selling their shares, and you have to actually be an accredited investor, which they're trying to obviously raise the amount of money that you have to hold to become an accredited investor. But you guys can, through a broker and stuff like that, buy Ripple, but they're going to keep on expanding Ripple's company. Now, the XRP token can be utilized with Ripple, but it's separate. So that's what things that people need to realize. So when they say like, "Oh, Ripple's going out and getting new cryptocurrencies," they hate XRP. It's completely false. It's a separate company. Ripple needs to grow its company overseas and in the United States with compliance so that the XRP token can thrive. But we'll see more about this and what's going on later in the near future. If you guys want to, he actually did sit down in an interview with CNBC to talk about this and growing outside the United States, because obviously the United States cannot have clarity. But Cowboy Crypto points out what's going on with Metaco so far. It says right here, VP consolidates digital assets custody and tokenization operations for Metaco. Digital assets custody provider Metaco selected by derivatives exchange Macari. For those of you guys that don't know, it's basically just like an online version of Craigslist, where you basically don't meet people. You actually just send stuff through the mail. Levi Field selects Metaco to launch digital assets management capabilities on IBM Cloud. IBM is huge. These are just showing just obviously how Metaco was a smart choice for Ripple to keep on expanding its global operations. Ripple starts CBDC platform for central banks to customize and issue digital currencies. This is where Ripple's going to use the XRP token, in my opinion, is starting with the CBDCs. Obviously, if you change one currency into another, so if you use the US dollar going into the yen, it has to have some sort of cryptocurrency that it goes through. One with low fees is the XRP token. So if you want to change the US dollar, so 100 US dollars, and you want to change it to the yen, you'll send the 100 US dollars to an exchange, Ripple, and then Ripple will swap it to an XRP token and then send that XRP and then swap it to the Chinese yen for less than a penny. Doesn't matter how much money you use, it's always less than a penny for transactions, unless you could probably get into the trillions of dollars. Then you might actually have to use an actual penny. But it's a lot cheaper and a lot more efficient than what's going on right now with traditional banking. Moving on, though, Ripple has been selected to showcase a key CBDC use case for the HK Magavaki's inaugural EHKD pilot program for Fubin Bank. They're talking about real estate right here. It says, learn how property owners can leverage a combination of CBDCs and tokenization of real estates to unlock the equity in their real estate. So if you guys want to, you guys can click this link right here. It's their little press release, and they talk about it, as well as clicking the links, obviously, in the articles. Here's another one that Business Wire talked about too. You guys can scroll down and read a little bit more about that. Moving on, though, Ripple is thrilled to welcome Warren Jensen to Ripple's board as the new chair of its audit committee. Transparency and trust are the two hallmarks that drive the crypto movement forward. In Warren's decades of experience here with the incredible resources will continue to grow globally. For those of you guys that don't know, he was the CFO over at Amazon for a number of years. So obviously he's been at big companies. He's a great fit for Ripple, it looks like. Obviously, if Brad Garlinghouse hired him, he probably knows what he's doing, and he's going to keep on helping Ripple move forward. And just shows that Ripple is going to keep on expanding, and the XRP token will hopefully grow with Ripple's expansion. Right here, though, we talked about how there was a joint motion between Ripple and the SEC. James K. Filan comes out and says that the parties filed a joint motion for 1 week extension until June 13th. So it was June 6th, but they actually filed a 1 week extension until June 13th to file public, unredacted versions of cross motions for summary judgment and accompanying exhibits, which includes the Hinman materials. So we're not going to see, hopefully, anything more surprising as a bad light for XRP price action in the Ripple versus the SEC case, unless Bitcoin goes down, because everything again follows Bitcoin right now. But Jeremy Hogan says that the SEC and Ripple have jointly requested a 1 week extension to file their motions to the public, which yes includes the Hinman emails, pushes the date back. If you want to grow, speculate on what it means, you've come to the right place. Hit the comments. So a bunch of people are hitting what the comments are. Jeremy Hogan actually replies to several of them. If you guys want to read those, you guys can. Frederick Boley comes out and talks about this and says that it's weird to me that parties have already had detailed discussions on these redactions the first time around. Could be nothing more than what's written, but it's just odd. This gives me the feeling that something has changed and there is a scrambling going on behind the scenes. For those of you guys that don't know, Frederick Boley is one of the new lawyers that have come up. He's been in this for a while, but he's one of the more prominent ones that have been showing up with John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan. He comes out and says, to elaborate on my wild speculation, Judge Torres' ruling may have already been prodded the parties into accepting their weaknesses, and there is a last-ditch effort at a settlement. The only settlement that makes sense to me at this point is Ripple pays a large penalty, must register its future XRP sales on an agreed-upon basis, and XRP is not a security. Secondary XRP sales are not security transactions. Both sides give up on this, and neither of them true to win, the hallmark of the great compromise. So that's where we're going to end this video. It's just with a little bit of a speculation. The next dates to look out for, again, are June 13th for this lawsuit, and maybe some price action here and there. But we did see the price of XRP go up a little bit, probably about a little bit, 8 to 10%. In the last ruling. With this new ruling, it kind of remains stagnant, so we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for tuning into my video. Watch the videos next week again. Tune into those for the 250 subscriber giveaway. If you guys can invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.